Hi Smarties! Welcome to Perfect Prep. No doubt, test prep can be lengthy. It can also be complex. That's why I've got helpful steps to help you improve your ACT score. There's a bunch of them, but don't worry, they're simple and effective. Let's get started. Number 1. First, determine your ACT target score and how long you'll have to study. A target score can motivate and structure your prep. It can also help give you a rough idea of how long you'll need to study. How? It will calculate the difference between your baseline and target scores. Also, if you decide on your major, you can focus more on those sections of the ACT test. You'll still have to do well on the whole test, but it might take away some pressure. Colleges not only pay attention to your overall ACT score, but to your individual section scores. To make the best of your ACT prep, you need to figure out which topics are most difficult for you and pay more attention to those. In other words, you need to understand and focus on your weaknesses. Think it's enough to just put in preparation time? It's not. You also need to study effectively. You'll make the best use of your ACT study time by practicing type of questions that challenge you most. If you want to see growth, you've got to understand why correct answers are correct and incorrect are incorrect. Try to know this before checking the test prep explanation if you're using a prep book or the Perfect Prep app. It will better help you truly understand what you've been tested on. If you can understand how to analyze questions, you'll be able to understand your weaknesses and learn from them. Your weak points can then become your strengths. The next step is a lot of practice. Get ready for the real thing. Take as many practice tests as possible. You can find tons of practice tests through the ACT website, third-party test prep sites, in study guidebooks, and in apps like Perfect Prep. Choose tests that are specifically designed in the ACT format to practice while also becoming comfortable with the layout of the test. This can prevent anxiety during the test and can also help you see how the test timing and format work. I highly recommend taking at least one full-length ACT practice test under real testing conditions. Practice sitting and testing for 3 hours straight, just like at the actual test. Put yourself in a quiet environment, take a lot of time breaks, and remember to set timer for each section. Talking about the time limits, here comes another tip. Don't underestimate timing. Timing is key. You have a certain amount of time for each ACT test section, so pay attention to the following. When you're preparing for a particular subject, it's not enough to understand its essence. You need to be able to use what you've studied and know how to apply it to any particular question to answer it quickly and correctly. As you get comfortable with the individual ACT practice questions, start timing yourself to get into prime testing shape. Time constraints add pressure, and you're likely to run out of time as you practice. But don't get intimidated. You'll get faster with patience and consistent practice. Try to improve your reaction time and attention. Find your weakest areas through the ACT practice test and track the time needed for each question type. Recognize which questions challenge you the most, so you can give yourself extra time for them during the actual test. Train yourself with a timer, then use a mental clock. Preparing for the ACT can feel like a lot, but it's also imperative that you get your rest. You don't want to feel all burnt out, do you? So you will need to have a rest before the actual test. Believe it or not, rest is one of the most important things for great ACT performance. Try to relax the day before the actual test, take it slow, and do what you can to feel still and calm. Go to bed early. Try to skip late night screen time or watching TV. In the morning, eat a balanced breakfast and try to get to the testing center early. It can take a little time to find the right room, and you'll want time to take a deep breath before the test starts. The earlier you get there, the less stressful it will be. There is enough pressure during the test. Don't add more by getting there late. These 5 tips are the essential to incorporate to your ACT practice, so make sure to follow them all. And don't forget to check our videos about test strategies for each section of the ACT as well. Feeling extra ACT prepared after this episode? Please leave a thumbs up and comment if you like this series and subscribe to our channel so you're not missing out on the future prep episodes. Download the Perfect Prep app to stress less as you get ready for the big test. It's everything you need to ace the ACT all in one app. See ya!